We're joined now by former Republican presidential candidate and Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. Mr. Speaker, I want to start with the Hugh Hewitt interview with Donald Trump. Did we learn anything meaningful about his capacity to be president from that interview?
Well, I think it's a sign, as David Gergen pointed out, it's probably a sign of good sense on Trump's part. I mean, the truth is, no national leader knows anything about the head of Quds force. So when they say they may have memorized the name, they don't know what school he went to, they don't know what faction he belongs to, they don't know whether or not he was in Moscow recently. I mean, this is not presidential stuff. He's going to hire a Secretary of State, he's going to hire a National Security Advisor, he's going to have a Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, he's going to have a Secretary of Defense. The real question is, so what would you do about them?
Right. So when we're thinking about, you thought when you campaigned a lot about how to actually do stuff in this bureaucracy that we have. So talk to me a little bit about a business person comes in. George Shultz used to say, former Secretary of State, said, you know, in the private sector he would say, do this. And then he got into office and he'd say, do this, and nothing would happen.
Right.
So give us a realistic assessment of how a business person comes in and gets stuff done.
Well, I think that Secretary Shultz put his finger on exactly the crisis of American government. And it's been true at least since he was Secretary in the 1980s. What will be fascinating if Trump does end up getting in, or for that matter, Carson or Fiorina, all of whom represent outside experiences. Are they prepared to go to the Congress and say, end the civil service system? I mean, you don't end, and there is a bill, Jeff Miller has a bill that came out of the House that would allow the Secretary of Veterans Affairs to fire any bureaucrat failing to serve veterans. Now, that's the beginning of a revolution. But until we're prepared to say, and 75% of the American people, according to Gallup, believe there is, quote, widespread corruption. Now, widespread corruption is a tough standard. 75% of the American people believe that government in America is now failing and that it needs to be radically changed.